So did you ever hear that story about Goldilocks, the little girl who broke into the three bears' house and started eating their food? Well, long story short, there were 3 bowls of food. One was too hot, too lumpy, the other was too cold, too runny, but the one in the middle was just right. And that is a metaphor for human life in the galaxy, and it's also a metaphor for Sony's new InZone gaming headset lineup. Allow me to explain. So the Sony InZone H3 is the entry-level model. It's wired, it's got 40mm drivers and a removable mic on a boom arm, and they do support spatial audio, and they can be tweaked with Sony's InZone Hub PC gaming software. Now, I can't tell you from experience because I haven't actually reviewed them myself. I can only tell you what I've heard, and I've heard people have pretty heavily criticized these for the mic quality and the sound quality, but I think those reviewers are forgetting the most important thing about the H3s, and that's the price. They come in at under £90, and they are clearly targeting the budget gaming headset market. Now let's talk about the Sony InZone H9. The all singing, all dancing flagship model. They have 32 hours playback, Bluetooth 5.0 and 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi connection, so you can do multiple connections with these, for example phone and PC or phone and PlayStation. And they do have active noise cancelling with 4 exterior ANC mics, as well as game-changing and performance-enhancing customizable RGB on the backs of the ear cups. And they also have premium padding, exactly the same as the WH-1000 XM5 from Sony, which I did review, and I'll link that video at the end. And of course, the build quality is premium. They do use 40mm premium drivers, which is bigger than the XM5s. And Sony also offer advanced customization features within the InZone Hub PC software. But despite all of the H9's technical accolades, it still has stumbled across some criticism, and when it comes to the H9s, it's mainly around the price and the mic quality. And again, that's just what I've heard. I've not actually tested them. But now, enter the Goldilocks InZone, the Sony InZone H7. These are the ones that I have thoroughly tested, and over quite a long period of time. And I will tell you this, the price point I believe is just right. They come in at under £180 at launch, and this places it in line with my top 5 PS5 headsets that I previously reviewed. And in that video, I scored those 5 headsets in categories. So those were style, comfort, usability, sound quality, and then at the end, a blind mic test for the final score. So it only seems fair that I score the Sony InZone H7s in the same manner. So make sure you stick around to the end for the blind mic test on these to get the final score, and then we can look at how that final score compares to the other top 5 PS5 headsets. So that should be pretty interesting. Okay, so category 1, style. So these look virtually identical to the flagship H9s, minus the game-changing RGBs on the back and the premium XM5 padding. The H7s do share some of the key components though, for example the drivers, the white polycarbonate materials, which is identical to the PS5 pretty much, and the button placements are pretty much the same as well. So the similarities include the retracting boom arm mic, the nicely raised and rounded volume dial on the right ear cup, and the game chat mix rocker on the left ear cup, as well as the Bluetooth and power button. One downgrade you should be aware of though is we don't have the flagship materials that are used on the H9. So instead of that XM5 padding, we have soft nylon. Now that doesn't mean it's bad. It actually looks pretty nice and it feels nice. The question is, how will it look after 6 months? But unfortunately, the answer to that, only time will tell, and I have to give these back to Sony soon, so I might never find out. But anyway, if you do buy these, let me know down the road how well they hold up. So I do like the fact that Sony seem to have added some vents for ventilation, I hope. And I think if you are a PS5 owner and you're buying these for PS5, you are gonna love this style because they look like they've been made specifically to look like a PS5 accessory. So my score when it comes to style for the H7s is an easy 8.5 out of 10. Okay, category 2, fit. So when it comes to actually wearing these for gaming, I'm happy to say there's not too much clamping pressure on the ears, there's not too much pinching pressure at the top of the crown, and all of the padding is super plush and comfortable. And the padding on the headband is protected by vegan leather, so no cows' lives were lost in the making of these headphones, and this material should also stop any hair grease seeping in. Now, one of the things I really like about the Sony InZone line in general is the unique hinges. They've got such good dexterity and the hinges feel strong, and they also allow the headphones to turn inwards and rest on your shoulders comfortably when you're not using them. The mic position is nice and there seems to be a flexible wire inside, so adjusting them to the perfect spot is easy. My only criticism is that the ear cups might feel pretty huge on some people's heads, and I do think they kind of make you look like a helicopter pilot sometimes. But hey, maybe that's your bag, and if that's you, you're gonna love it. And the nearest headphones from my previous video when it came to fit and comfort and even style in a way is the Razer Black Sharks. Those were pretty awesome. So I feel it's fair to give the Sony InZone H9s 8 out of 10 for fit. So the H7s definitely get bonus points for the InZone Hub software that opens the door to a crazy amount of customization. You get a 10-band equalizer, dynamic range control, and spatial sound control, which involves you downloading the Sony headphones app on your phone, taking photos of your ears so that the spatial audio can be mapped specifically for your ear shape. One downside though is these EQ changes and custom features that you dial in on the PC cannot be brought back over to the PS5. So once you connect them to a PS5, the Tempest 3D audio will take over. But one of the standout features here for the H7s is the ability to switch between game audio and your phone's audio. So using Bluetooth and the 2.4 gigahertz connection at the same time, your phone rings whilst playing a game, you can pick it up. So it definitely gets bonus points for that. And check this out, the mic arm when flipped up locks the microphone off, and I like that. And something else that I really like about these when it comes to usability is the placement and the design of the volume dial. It's perfect, it's raised and rounded, which makes it instantly easy to find, and it's not in a spot where you're accidentally going to turn it up to 11 and deafen yourself, which is something that did happen with some of the other headphones. And another nice feature that you get, because these are Sony headphones after all, is you actually get the on-screen volume levels shown on the PlayStation when you adjust them. So that's pretty cool. And of course, you've got the 3D spatial sound software working seamlessly here as well on the PS5. Now, going back to that Goldilocks metaphor at the beginning of the video, when you think about it, these are in the Goldilocks zone because these actually have better battery life than the flagship H9s, but they have lost the game-changing RGB and they don't have ANC, but the price is about half. And you might be thinking, well, the ANC is a pretty big deal, but actually, in my opinion, it probably isn't, because these, in comparison to the other 5 gaming headsets that I reviewed, have easily the best passive noise cancelling that I've ever heard on a gaming set of headphones. So honestly, unless you absolutely need ANC because you live on a building site or something like that, you're going to be more than happy with the passive noise cancelling here on the H7s. So from a usability standpoint, I was going to give these a 9 out of 10. But because the custom EQs can't be carried back from PC to PS5, I have to give them 8.5 out of 10. Okay, so sound quality, probably the most important aspect of any audio equipment. So what I like about the InZone H7s is the perception of a massive soundstage. That's the first thing I noticed when I started using these. With the H7s, you get a good idea of distance and direction within the games. I've mainly been using these with Call of Duty Warzone, and your ability to hear footsteps and what direction those footsteps are coming from really does give you a gaming advantage. And I do feel like these headphones actually enhance those really quiet sounds, and taking the custom EQs out of the equation, the standard audio profile is very nice. The bass out of the box isn't too overwhelming on the PS5. The sound signature isn't too sharp in the high-end frequencies either. So you're not going to get that sort of listening fatigue after longer gaming sessions. And drawing from my experience from the previous video, comparing the top 5 gaming headphones, I'd have to say the closest audio profile to these would be the Astro A40s. And I thought those were very good. So I have to put these on the same pedestal as those at 8.5 out of 10 when it comes to sound quality. Okay, are you ready for the finale and maybe the most interesting part of this video? It is the blind mic test. So I'm going to join my friend Yamakasi from the No Call of Duty for Old Men clan for him to do a blind test on the quality of the microphones, which is an area where these have been criticized. So we'll get a real score and a final score for the Sony InZone H7s. You ready? Let's go. Alright, so I'm now logged into Call of Duty and I'm joined by Yamakasi, who's going to be the adjudicator and actually the person responsible for the final score on the Sony InZone H7s. So Yamakasi, what you're listening to right now is what was previously rated 2 out of 10, and this is the mic built into the controller on the PlayStation 5. Now check this one out, and this next one was rated 8.5. All right, so I'm not going to tell you what headset this is, but like I said before, this was 8.5. So now you know what the lower end sounds like. Now you know what the upper end sounds like. You've got to tell me out of 10 what the Sony H7 sound like. Okay, so now I'm using the Sony InZone H7 and this is the mic quality. What do you score this out of 10?
It's not actually bad. I would say I would give this a solid 7.8 and 7.9.
7.9 out of 10. So that makes the score 41.4. Now, if you want to know if that beats the SteelSeries, which was the other headset I was just using in this video, you're going to have to check out this video that's on screen right now. That's the top 5 PlayStation headsets compared. Go check that out, see what you think. And if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. See you in the next one. Don't be late.